Here at Adapting the Outdoors, I try to keep things as tasteful as possible, but I must warn you, this is a hunting show. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome back to Adapting the Outdoors. On today's show, I'm taking you back with me to my second sit just this past weekend for deer season here in Illinois. Stay tuned, guys. Alright, so this past weekend was my second time sitting in the ground blind, and it started off to be really slow. We figured that because of it being the full moon that it would be really hard to get a deer to come in within shooting range and to be able to get a shot off. So about 10 minutes before last shooting light, mind you, we didn't see a thing all afternoon on Saturday. About 10 minutes before legal shooting light was up, on my backside, I'm facing one direction, my buddy Brent is facing the other way, and he taps me on the shoulder and he says that there's two deer walking our direction. So I sit there and I get ready, and it takes them a good 3 or 4 minutes to get to where we're at. So we only have just maybe 5 minutes of legal shooting light left. And the deer walked into my path, into my line of sight, and I lined up the crosshairs and I took a shot. Well, unfortunately, I missed low. I ended up jerking the shot, I guess. I don't really know exactly what happened, but in the excitement, I missed the shot, and it ended up grazing the lower half of the deer's leg. And unfortunately, I never recovered the arrow, so I don't really know beyond the fact that I know that it was a minor leg hit. I don't really know how much damage was done. So fast forward to Sunday, we got up at like 4 o'clock, and we were out the door by 5, and just after legal shooting light started, it was about 7:05 when I think when I placed the shot, and legal shooting light on that day was at 6:55. So I'm sitting there, and I'm looking down at my phone or something in my hand, and out of the corner of my eye, I see a little bit of movement. Well, I looked up, and I'm like, Brent! And I said it a little too loud, and that deer popped up and was looking around. And I'm like, crap. So he starts to trot away, and my buddy Brent stops him, and he just locks up. And I placed my 20-yard pin on his shoulder. And I nailed him. I could not have been more proud and more happy with how things turned out. So where we're going to pick up the video is we're just getting out of the blind, and Brent is holding the camera, and I am following the blood along the edge of the timber, and unfortunately he went down an embankment and Brent had to go get him. So a lot of the time Brent is actually the one that's going to be holding the camera, following the blood trail. So we'll pick it up basically right here where I am talking to the camera and opening up the show. Welcome to Adapting the Outdoors. We are on our first blood trail at about, what would you say, a little after 6, Brent?
That was almost 7.
Oh, it was almost 7. We had a deer come through and I shot her at about 20 yards. She was too fast to get the camera even going. So now we're just going to the edge of the timber. Alright, so
try getting back up toward the timber more.
Deer all over in here this morning.
I can't see it from here. Not bad. We have bubbles.
She had to go through the thickest stuff. And she's going to be right down here in this creek. I'm pretty sure of it. Nate's coming out in the woods and painting trees now. I can't believe she's went down in that creek. We're trying to go up that hill. Okay, I thought she would have run it down by now. There she is. There's Nate's first deer. Had to go under some of the thickest stuff imaginable. Nice young little button buck.
Doing a war face?
Okay, so as you can see, we found the deer, and as I said, it went down an embankment, probably 80 yards, maybe closer to 90. But Brent found the deer for me, and he tagged it for me and drug it back up to where I was at. And as you can see, he is going to field dress the deer in this next video. It's kind of graphic, guys, so if you have little ones around and you don't want to expose them to that, I would recommend to not go any further or skip this next part. And that knife works awesome. Hit the stomach.
Yeah, she's already bloating. was afraid of.
Is it going to affect the meat?
Nope. It's not getting on the meat.
God, that fucking stinks.
I feel like poop.
You got to spread them wide.
Holy crap.
Do that one. You ain't gonna do that with an older one.
Can I do it now, Dad?
No, honey, just watch Daddy, okay? Thank God for rain.
Now what does that do?
Breaking the pelvis.
And that's the truth. That's your...
Can you hold that leg, Daddy?
This photo thing.
Can't wait to see whether it's a heart or a lung shot.
Wow. That's like...
He's not fazed by this crap at all. That's awesome.
Hey, Mom. Look up. Nope. Not that bad.
That's right, Dad.
That way you want hunting? So you'll go fishing? I don't even like that. I just gotta shut your dad up.
That's right, Daddy. Daddy, we do that. We get outdoors, you can drive. Why do you keep like that, Daddy? Dad.
So was it a
Perfect lung shot.
perfect lung shot?
Yep.
Sweet.
There's the entrance. There's the exit.
Dang.
Daddy, why do you keep that?
There's the long where you went in. The long. And there's where it came out the other one.
Double lunged him. So after we got it field dressed and tagged, the next step, and I didn't videotape any of this stuff because I was too busy learning. I've never done this before, so I was too busy learning about what to do. But the next step was to skin it and then quarter it, so that way later on in the day we could process it. We decided that instead of taking it to a processor and paying the money to have it processed, we would just do it ourselves. Brent has been doing it for years, and rather than pay a processing fee, he just does it himself, which I think is great. You know what quality of meat you're getting, you know what goes into it. So if you have the opportunity to process your own meat, whether it be deer, hog, cattle, anything, do it yourself, because then you know what the quality of the meat is. So after we skinned it, quartered it, we put it in the fridge for a couple of hours and let it get good and firm, and then we spent the next 2 to 3 hours processing the deer and getting it cut down into steaks and grind and all the portions that I would like. Again, I didn't videotape any of it because I'm still learning. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Adapting the Outdoors. If you haven't already done so, please hit the subscribe button and don't forget to comment and like. If you have any questions or any tips or even ideas for a future episode, please leave it in the comment section or send me a message on Facebook through the Adapting the Outdoors page. Alright guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.